Hey, this is Taylor with Believe in the Run. I wanted to let you know that the podcasts are getting their own channel. As we continue to grow, please search and follow BITR Networks on YouTube and Instagram to find all of the podcast-related content. If you're looking for the shoe and gear reviews, you can find those on believeintherun.com or search Believe in the Run on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you for your support. Here's the show.
Give a good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you want to talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop, D-R-O-P. Believe in the run.
Hey, this is Taylor with Believe in the Run.
And this is Reese with Believe in the Run.
And welcome to the Drop podcast, but the Dirt Division segment, where you can hear about trail running and some of everything else in life, I guess. It's kind of where this is ending up.
Yeah, I feel like it's like 70% neurotic ramblings and then like 30% trail, 30% running or something in there. That's
Which
kind
is
of what
like,
it's feeling like.
yeah. So if you listen to this on a run, which is basically my thought process on a run, maybe 30% of the time I'm actually thinking about running or something close to running. Otherwise, my mind is just off and wandering everywhere else. Which is probably why my feet have taken a beating over the past few years, but it is what it is. I like to be out there.
Yeah, I think yesterday I went for a run with a friend I hadn't seen in a while, and we were just talking about like how on off days, our rest days, we feel maybe the worst, like mentally or
Yeah.
physically, which like I guess maybe call it an exercise dependency, but I think I just like need to move outside. And so yesterday we just said that we were just getting the zoomies out. We're just like dogs.
Oh my
We
gosh, it's totally true.
Yeah, we just need to like move for a couple hours and then we're like normal-ish.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a meeting yesterday that wasn't involving running, but it was an all-day meeting. And the guy who was presenting and just helping the group I was working with through our process, he's just like, wow, you are the most restless people that I've ever been around. He's also like from the Midwest in like business, finance, all that kind of stuff. And apparently, you know, just people who like to move, hike, trail run, whatever, just isn't used to that. But that was like, I hadn't run. I was purposefully taking a day off. I'm trying to be like really good with my return to real training. And man, I just can't sit still unless I've had a run. And then I started getting like, you know, a little bit of a headache because I'm sitting down for too long. I went and found a standing place, and you could just tell that like out of the corner of his eye, he just kind of like kept eyeing me like, this isn't normal. Like, this isn't a normal business meeting where we're sitting around. I'm like, well, you should have known this because I showed up in a melanzana and joggers anyways. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's so true.
mean, you can always spot like the runner in any kind of room because they are like inevitably in the back somehow like stretching for no reason.
That was
They're
me.
just,
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're like doing a deep squat or like a lunge, or just they have like they're doing a quad stretch. Yeah, and you're just like
calf raises, all of it.
yeah, like what are you getting ready for? And it's just like we can't. It's just a mental block where I'm like, I gotta move, and I no longer can pay attention to whatever is happening.
Yeah.
I'm just like a child. I'm just like, I need to get out. This is insane. It's like when is recess? I'm still a recess
that's
kid.
Totally me. Well, that's probably a big reason why these are like 45 minutes to an hour, because that's like my absolute limit.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much after every time we record, I take my dog for a walk, or I go run, or I go like stack wood or something. I'm like, I just need to get out, do something physical, and we'll be fine. But that's totally, yeah. I would say most runners could probably identify with that. At least most runners that have become addicted to running.
And I think we're saying dependency now.
Okay. Is that the PC term?
I think that's the correct term. Okay. Addiction, I think, means something different.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the use of the word addiction is a little extreme in this
A little
case,
bit.
but a
But
dependency.
I feel like we could
Is that
do
what you
like
said?
trail
Dependency?
runner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trail runner
Okay.
bingo, where it's like if you have ever stretched during a meeting, if you have ever, just like these
Yeah.
random, if you've ever, then you're a trail runner or you're a runner. Um, because I feel like there's just so many oddities, or like at some meeting, like you can always spot the runners because they're in like an old pair of trainers and they all
Yep.
have some gigantic GPS watch on. And I'm like, you run. You
Yep.
obviously run.
Yep. And then from there, you can tell like if they're all the way buttoned up and tucked in, road runner, kind of like the neurotic road runner. But yeah, if you show up in a sweatshirt or like something that, satisfy or something like that, it's
Oh
like,
God. Yeah.
trail runner
Yeah. Trail runners were a very obvious crew. And like looking at
or
myself in this
exoskin
video,
or something.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
looking at myself in this video, obviously some kind of runner because my sunglasses tan from being in Arizona is
It's
like
back.
it is coming in so hard. I've been
Y-
here. I've run like I think like three days here. Like it's not even like but I guess
Are
in the
these
three
like big
days
days you're
I've run
putting
like,
in?
yeah, I guess like
Yeah.
it was 21 miles, then 15, and then 16. So
Oh, wow. You
yeah.
are putting in the miles. You're on a mission. Okay, so
Yeah.
where are you currently? I mean, I know you're down checking out the Black Canyon course. Where is that?
So I'm currently in Scottsdale, but
Okay.
it's actually really interesting. The Airbnb I'm at is actually at a performance horse farm, which I love. Like we
Uh,
just watch horses come in and
you're
out
just having a week
all
long
day.
therapy session, really.
Oh my God, it's so fun. And I just like watch these little yearlings just play in like their little pen all day. Um, but then the Black Canyon course is about an hour from where I'm at.
Okay.
And so
Which
my
is
friend
Scottsdale the place where like Cocodona ends in Scottsdale or goes through? Maybe it just goes through Scottsdale. I need to do my Cocodona course recon apparently.
I
I know
thought it
Scottsdale's a big
was,
one.
I thought it was, it could be. I thought it was further east of Black Canyon course, but I'm probably wrong. I bet it starts here. There's tons of trails. It's right next to McDowell Mountain Park where Javelina is.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's where maybe Cocodona ends there. But
Oh,
that's not like where Black Canyon is. Where does Black Canyon
no.
start?
Uh, Meyer, Arizona. I don't know. It's like an
Okay.
hour something from
Yeah.
me, and so
I just can
on.
picture it from the live stream every year when I obnoxiously have it on for however many hours of the day.
Mm,
It's like the one day, it's really just trail running events that we have our TV on all day. Of like, there's no other reason to have it on, which is just weird. If somebody came into our home, they'd be like, "Who are you and why are you watching this silly stuff?" But I can picture the track and picture what the town looks like from the drone footage, but I have no idea where it is.
yeah. Um, I guess just northwest of Phoenix.
Okay.
And on Sunday, my friends that I had met at another race called Antelope Canyon, they live like in Phoenix. And so I just like reached out and they put together this awesome group. There were like 10 of us that ran the first 21-ish miles.
Okay.
Um, which, okay, spoiler,
Yeah.
interesting tea.
Mm.
So while we were there, we're like doing these shuttles. We drop our cars and like quick side tangent. I need you to know that the rental car that I was given, like I asked for a Tacoma and they gave me a Dodge 2500 Super Duty. Like I can't even, the hood is
Can
taller
you
than
get
me.
in there? Yeah.
No, like it is outrageously large. Like I
But
look,
then you probably fit in fairly well down there as long as you throw on
oh,
some like short cowgirl boots or something. Because like we have a lot of friends who are just like, yeah, petite people like you, but then they show up in their big truck and all decked out, pearl
Yeah.
snaps, all that. So you just need a little bit of a wardrobe change. You'll be fine.
I mean, I like totally embody the big truck vibe now. Like I just fully went into it. Like I back into all parking spaces. Like I,
Oh yeah.
it's like I am just a jerk on the road. It's great.
You're
Like
you're known for judging parking people's
yeah,
parking in public. Have you been judging
yeah.
your own, or are you like you're back in ready? You got it.
Oh, I'm terrified. Like I went out to dinner and my friend and I, like I was like, we need to go to like a parking lot like miles from here because I can't
Driver's training
turn
all
this
over.
vehicle. Yeah, I was like, this is too much. But anyway, okay, aside from this vehicle being grotesque in size, we all drive to the start and we're waiting for another car.
Wait,
And
did you
who do
throw
we
everybody
see?
in the back?
Wait,
Do you,
this is a different car.
like?
This is important.
Oh, okay,
This
okay.
is
Never mind.
we've moved on from the car. We get to this trailhead. We're waiting for our friends to show up because we took a few cars. And who do we see running down the start of the Black Canyon course but Jim Walmsley? He
Jimmy.
is
Wow.
not currently
Jimmy
registered.
Dubs.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
Okay.
not registered. Unclear
Okay.
if he will be here. And then another
I would.
car pulls up.
Okay.
So
Well, I
another
just want to
car
say
pulls up.
with Jimmy real quick. I call him Jimmy. Just I don't know him at all, but I just feel like he's a Jimmy to the people who know him, and I wish I did. But how cool would it be from a competitor standpoint of like he just shows up day before, quietly registers and takes back his course record? I would love to view that.
I mean, and he was in the Tecton or the Hoka X,
Rocket X
whatever.
Trail.
The Rocket X Trail. That's what I'm saying. Can't think of what I'm talking about anymore. So he goes by.
Okay.
Then this other car pulls up, and this guy's like, "Yeah, I'm like crewing some woman who's racing," and I think her name started with an M. I can't remember it. I
Okay.
feel like she was from like Slovenia, like some other country.
Okay. Yeah.
She was fast, super good. And the best part was we're all running and I'm just like trying to like hang out in the back. Like I try to give people as much room so I can like see what's ahead of me so I don't trip. And my friend is like, yeah, this part's really cool. So I'd look up and immediately eat it. And I don't just fall. I like fall. And
I'm not
have you ever
laughing at
seen
you.
have you ever seen like football players run into those like blockade
Yes.
things and they just keep going? That was like me, but my hands against the like dirt.
Gravel.
And so like I've like ripped up my hands and knees. And this woman who's like behind us, she's just like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, let's just move past this.
Pretend you never saw this.
Yeah, I'm like, I swear I run. And then I fell again later. It's like
I'm just not used to running with people.
No, I'm like, what is going on? But it's like way more technical than I was expecting. Like,
Okay.
it's not crazy. It's all very runnable, but like you've got to like keep your eyes glued to the ground.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just
kind
like
of
rocky
imagine
enough.
it.
Yeah.
I imagine it kind of like the trails out of like Lyons, Colorado here. Like, is it kind of like that? Remember that one day we did that big run on like the Painted Rocks Trail that kind of goes over toward Boulder.
Oh,
we
no,
had met
it's way
like
better.
in the
worse
middle,
than that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. See,
Yeah.
in my mind, we're going to be talking about gravel running here in a little bit. In my mind, this is kind of like a gravel runner's course, but apparently not.
Well, so I was there with my friend Marie, and I think she was expecting more javelina surfaces, which is
So
like
that would be
gravel.
Okay.
And I think this was like 1 or 2 clicks up from that, where you do have to come on like pay attention.
Okay.
And she was like, this was not what I was expecting. I don't know if I want to do this. I think she's back on board. I think it was just like a expectations needed to be recalibrated. But like
Okay.
it would have been annoying. And she's much more of a road runner. Um, but she's also like incredibly good at trail running. She like just started. And I was like, girl, you just like ran
Ignorance is bliss.
20. Yeah, I'm like, you just ran like 21 miles and we weren't like pokey at all. We were going like, it took us, I don't know, 3 hours. Um,
Yeah, that's
so
moving.
like, yeah, we weren't lollygagging. Um, but definitely required more focus
Okay.
than
Is that going to be
anticipating.
in your favor as an athlete of like, would you rather
Mm.
zone out or would you rather like be engaged? Because I'm more on the engaged side of like, I kind of like to be able to look out. Um, I kind of save like road runs or gravel runs for special times. Try not to do it all that often because I just like the engagement that the trail gives, I guess.
I think I'm somewhere in the middle, but so like we did that run and then both of us were really tired. Like I had run 6 days at that point in a row. And then on Monday I was running again and I normally don't. And so we just ran the Javelina course because I was like, I'm tired enough that I don't want to think, like I don't want to have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Cause like it was 100 miles in 7 days and I'm like, I'm good. Um,
Yeah, that's
and
solid.
yeah. And then yesterday I did from the Gloriana Trailhead to Black Canyon, which is like 16, well, ended up being like 16 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was super fun. Like I had a way more enjoyable time and it was like the right amount of engagement where I had to like focus, but I could look up and enjoy the scenery. And then there were some really cool creek crossings, um, which just was like, you know, a novelty item. And that was
Yeah.
nice.
Well,
So
I
I
just kind of think of
like that.
like new trail runners and like I've kind of always been out in the woods, so my mind's kind of I wasn't like running and then I got into trail running. It was just kind of all at the same time, basically. But I think of like Chad, one of our reviewers, our Clydesdale reviewer, and I know he listens, so hi, Chad. Like he had just kind of made some comments and posts about like how quickly time feels or like just how great it feels because having that when you're so engaged in all this other stuff, the miles and time just goes by so quickly. Might not cover the same amount of mileage, of course. However, like maybe it's, yeah, I would think it would be mostly refreshing for a lot of people, but also challenging depending on what you really like about running.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be a cool course. I think people are going to go super fast. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
hot. It's probably going to be hot.
All things that
Um,
you are good at and like to do.
yeah, it'll just be fun. I hope my hip is fine. Like it's so variable that like,
Okay.
I mean, I ran 100 miles on it and it was fine. It was like the
Yeah.
same. Um,
Then you wake up the next
so
morning and potentially feel it.
no, it's like the same no matter what.
Okay.
And like
Okay.
after I run, like yesterday, it felt totally fine. And then on Monday, you know, which was like normally a rest day, it was definitely stiff. But after 12 miles, which is just like absurd to say, but after 12
Mm-hmm.
miles, totally fine, like back to normal,
Okay.
didn't feel it. But
Are
I'm
you
like, okay,
doing
well, it's good.
anything different for it? Like, I know I'm kind of hypersensitive coming off of an injury, but did you do anything different for it as you like prepare for a longer run that helped? Or like, do you slap some, like heated lotion on there or roll it out a little more? Anything?
I neurotically stretch. So like at all times I'm like kind of stretching. And then I'm like massaging my deep
It's your
groin
lifestyle.
basically. Yeah, and
In
like
public.
I don't think like massaging your like inner leg deeply is probably that good. Like I probably am causing more soreness, but like
Irritation. Yeah.
I can't stop messing with it.
Yeah.
And so that's
Wait, are
just
you
where
the
I'm
kind
at.
of kid too that like if you have a scab, like are you picking your scabs on your hands?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you have to put Band-Aids over them to not?
I would just do it. I just would suffer the
You would take the
consequences.
Band-Aid.
I
Yeah.
can't stop myself. Like, I'm that kid. Oh, I'm that person
This all
still.
makes
Like
sense.
even right now, like this is like a
Yeah.
blood blister on my hand from when I fell, and I can't
And you
stop
just
trying to just rip it off. And I'm like, this
go
isn't.
get one of those cactus needles. Start
Yeah,
poking
I
it.
was like, this isn't. I don't need to do this. It's fine. It's doing its thing, and I'm just like, you should probably mess with it. You should ruin that.
Yes, please. This is what I want for my body all the time.
Yeah, just think that you know better, which I do not.
Just the input. So are you running
Yeah.
today, or is this off day? You've done 3 big
No,
days in a row.
no. So I had Tuesday off, and then
Okay.
yesterday was the 16 mile, and then today I'll do like, I don't know, 10 to 13, hopefully.
Something.
Yeah, something like
Okay.
flat and
Cool.
easy, because tomorrow I go to like New Orleans for this event, and I'm not really going to be doing a ton of running. So
So you're packing it
like,
in.
yeah, and I would say my training for Black Canyon has been like definitely subpar. This is not like, if I can't make it and like something happens, I'm not going to be like wildly disappointed,
Yeah.
because I don't think I've really put in solid training. But if like I signed up, I think it'll be fun. I'm not going to like do particularly well, but it seems like a cool course, and I have
You
so
said
many
that
friends
about
down here.
JFK too, and you still have all that within your body, and
Yeah.
you'll be fine. We'll just stop.
Yeah.
We'll just stop the conversation right here, because
Yeah.
you'll be fine. You don't need to think
It'll
about
be
it too
fun.
much.
Buck up.
Well, I do want you to think about like what did you do on your rest day? Because that's like a big question that many people have. You and I are both athletes, coaches. So what do you choose to do on those when you're in a big week like this, that you're just kind of focusing on getting miles, exploring a course? There's a lot of research behind what you just did that's like been coming out over the last couple of years about like kind of getting a 3-day camp put together between like anywhere between like 4 and 6 weeks out from your race. Of like, there's a lot of research supporting that in your training. But how do you recover? Like, what do you do personally to recover if someone needed a couple tips?
Number one thing is just eat a bunch. I think some people always assume you're like, oh, it's my rest day, I'm not doing quite as much, I don't need as much. I'm like, well, you were probably in like a huge deficit. Like, now is your time
Mm-hmm.
to even more make up for that. So it's a great time to eat more. I think like hydration is really key still. I go for like a walk. I need to like move around outside
Mm-hmm.
still, but I don't find it productive to like do an easy run, to be honest. Like, I'll overdo it.
Yeah.
Normatex are my normal go-to. Like, I'm
The bougie
obsessed with my
option.
Normatex. Oh, they're so good.
Do they have a name?
What do you mean? Like, do I call them something?
Yeah, like, hey
Oh,
George, can you
no.
grab me the Cindy's over there? Or
No, I wish. Like, I feel like I name everything. Like, my car is named. I have a blender that has a name, so I don't know why my Normatex don't.
For something that's so important to you.
I know. And like,
I'm a little offended for them.
I want the calf version, which you have, right?
I do have those, and they are nice. I wish I utilized them more often. Maybe now that I'm running more often again, I'll probably get into them.
If you're looking to rehome them, let me know.
I'm not sure if I'm there yet, but I will have you on the top of that list if so.
Thank you. What about you? What's your... Yeah,
well, here's the thing. I've been running again, and with that comes like a host of things. One thing is that I know I've always had an unhealthy diet or an unhealthy relationship with like sweets, not necessarily like candy, but like cookies, croissants, like all that kind of stuff. It just cereal. Oh my gosh. But it's not even like super sugary cereal, but I have like so many helpings of it. So I've actually done so much better that I haven't been doing as much activity. I've been able to rein in my habits a little bit, which I'm really proud of.
What do you mean by like unhealthy? You just like can't, you're like, I will eat everything in front of me?
Yeah, and it's like, and that's how I used to be, and it definitely still is. The more I run, the more, obviously you need calories, but I should be focusing on the right calories. I don't need to be an absolute garbage disposal all the time. I just kind of like the idea of serving size never really occurred to me until like this most recent bout of inactivity and like continuing to eat as if I'm running as many miles as I was when I was training for a 100 miler, that kind of stuff. And you just don't feel good. That was the big thing. Like obviously body composition and stuff will change throughout the year depending on your load. But it was more like I just didn't feel good because I continued on in that. So I'm proud to say I have been like reining in that part. And that's been like I I probably should say it's been a lifelong battle, but I really haven't focused on it until recently. Um,
Right.
so yeah, that's that's my training update. I have been running more, been really enjoying that, feeling really good. But the one thing I have been trying to do better as well is just like the daily hydration, especially through the holiday season. I'm just like coffee. That's all I need. That's all I want. That's all I need. And now that I'm more as you're taking a
I
drink,
got my tea. Yeah.
which, I still do like, 3 cups a day. I do my pour over in the morning. That's more of like a methodical thing that I really like, do my pour over, start a fire, sit down and listen to um, just some studies and stuff like that. Like that's my kind of morning. So obviously I'm going to keep coffee there, but it's more like the extra 2 or 3 cups in the afternoon that I don't need. But the one thing I
Mm,
have been doing well at is like just daily hydration within that. Um, and so part of that is like drinking the appropriate amount of liquids, but also like the appropriate balance of electrolytes. And I'm not saying all this just because Element is a sponsor of this, but it really does just like goes along with that feeling. Like when you're balanced internally, you just feel good kind of doing everything everywhere. And so I've been kind of experimenting with how much I have had a sweat test done and all that in past years. So I know about how much, like when I'm active or when, it's 70 degrees, I'll probably lose this amount of sweat per hour, whatever. But I want that to be more balanced on the daily so that when I get to true training, I have like that baseline of what I know I need without a lot of training. And so I've been kind of experimenting with some element packets, but I've been really, really, really liking the cans. And we talked about this a couple episodes
yeah.
ago of like they have these slim cans now for element, which element, if you're listening, LMNT is how you spell it. But it's pronounced element. Some people will just say it as in a string of like as if it's called LMNT. Oh, can I have some
Oh,
of that LMNT? Which sounds like it's
I
tea, but
like
it's
that.
not. It's just an electrolyte beverage. The full serving usually has 1,000 milligrams, but this has 500 milligrams of sodium and some potassium and magnesium, all that. But I love it in the sparkling sensation. And this new flavor, which I've never tried until recently, is pineapple salt. Doesn't that
Ooh,
just
that sounds
sound so
great.
nice? And
Yeah.
I'm thinking of you in like a hot climate after a
Yeah.
big long run. Like I can't think of anything more refreshing. Plus, you're getting all that stuff. So, yeah, as an honest thing, I'm really honestly thankful for the sponsorship because now I have all this to play with and not having to think about spending so much
Yeah.
on electrolytes. But also, it's like one of the electrolytes that I use pre and post. I've used it for a long time, and so yeah, it's just fun to be able to experiment and figure it out for myself. If anybody else is interested, you can go to drinklmnt.com/dirt division. And they do have a lot of information on that page. But one of the great things is that you can get a sample pack with multiple different flavors. So I've, yeah, honestly been really enjoying sampling this pineapple. Plus, orange salt was surprisingly good. I haven't had that before. Um, but my favorite's like the lemonade and the watermelon. Oh, wonderful.
So this is like, I feel like anyone that listens to this podcast just knows about like random things that have like unfortunately happened to me. And this one is like definitely random and also like slightly terrifying if you're not used to it. So Um, I get these things called like migraines with aura. Um,
Oh,
and they're terrifying if you've never had one. You like
why
think
do
you're going
those
to have a
happen?
stroke. Well, so dehydration can be
Oh,
a cause. And so it can be like being overly tired, which, yes, 100 miles, being very dehydrated, yes. And so normally it's happened. This is the third time in my life it's happened where I've had the aura. I do get
hmm,
migraines pretty frequently, but like the aura is like a little kaleidoscope of colors that shows up in your field of vision. And it kind of um, like wiggles and scatters around, and it
okay,
like starts small, gets bigger, and then like moves out of your field of vision. It normally looks like a C, like a backward C. Um,
okay,
Now, if it happens to some people that don't get it, like definitely consult your doctor. Like it could be an indicator of something much worse. But for me, I know it's not. Like I have a neurologist. We've talked about
hmm,
this. But the other night, I'm laying in bed, eyes are closed, and I was like, what the? And I just see this like kaleidoscope, and I was like, oh, it's happening. And I was like, of course, like it's
you're time traveling.
dehydration. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
dehydration. I'm definitely probably like overly tired. It's hard going from Colorado to suddenly like 80 degrees
yeah,
and just being like just sweating all the time. So I think I probably could have used some more
some more
daily
electrolytes,
hydration.
perhaps
But
some elements.
needless to say, it passed much quicker than my normal ones, which can last like
Yeah,
an hour. Um, you just sleep it off if you ever get it, but it's scary
okay,
if you don't
yeah.
know what it
That
is.
seems like it would. There was a friend I was with yesterday, and he gets migraines like that. And he was just saying
Hmm.
how it just like kind of everything just starts like getting wavy and
Yeah,
weird. And just like seeing him in that condition, like, I'm not envious whatsoever. And I just felt so bad for him. Like there's nothing you
yeah.
can do. And he just had to sit the rest of the day with his sunglasses on, pretty much, trying
Mm.
to consume the information we're getting. Um, yeah. Okay. So stay
It's
hydrated.
yeah, it's definitely weird. Like I just I was like, George, I'm getting a aura migraine. And of course he's like, oh my God, what can I do? I was like, well, nothing. But if it like is something for a stroke, just like, I don't know, wake me up
Yeah.
and take me to the emergency room. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna fall asleep. That's like
Don't
the
Google my
way to get
symptoms,
rid of
but it
it.
could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't look too into this. And then of course, like the next day I go for a 16-mile run and it was perfect. I was like, this is
Yeah.
amazing. The body is
Fantastic.
wild.
It is wild. Yeah. And I'm just always impressed too of like what the body can handle. Cause you haven't been like necessarily doing a lot of big trail runs recently, but you're like, of course, your past training blocks, you don't lose fitness nearly as
Hmm.
quickly as you perceive, but you can just kind of hop into this big week down on the Black Canyon course and like feel really good. Like the body is so cool, so resilient. And like, I
Yeah.
mean, we're basically we're we're just making adaptations to our body to do the things we
Yeah.
want to do. And when it comes down to it, and it's just so cool. Can we get into gravel running real quick? Not
I
real
would love
quick
that.
necessarily, but see, in my mind, this is kind of crazy because I thought Black Canyon would be more of like a gravel course, kind of like you said with Javelina. But that's also like, when you take a picture of something really steep, like if you're
Yeah.
taking a picture of a friend who's on a peak and it's really steep, but the picture never shows it justice. So I'm sure that's kind of the case on like when you're watching the live stream of anything Aerovite, but you can't see all the rocks and the how much undulation there really is and all that. But I mean,
It's I mean, I think people were in the H1s.
okay, which
So
is
like it is, yeah, I mean, it is not, you aren't going to need something like really burly. I would just say
mm-hmm,
something that's stable and it's more of like a snug fit rather than that like
yeah.
roomy whatever fit, just because there are lots of like turns and you have to be pretty agile. So I think as
I would
long
guess
as you have
mountain biking in
shoes
that
that,
area would be so fun.
yes, agreed.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
kind of trail.
Hmm.
Yeah. So my first question though, is gravel worthy of the gravel name itself, is it worthy of being its own category in your mind in terms of trail running footwear?
I mean, that is a complex question you ask, Mr. Bodine, because I think, okay, it's like I said, like I wrote that
Don't worry
review
about
for the
offending anybody here. You know you
yeah,
will.
for that craft Nord, yeah, that craft Nordlight shoe. Where I was like, we we need to do a better job of saying what gravel is, because
Hmm.
I think everyone's definition of like gravel is very different. And like for
Yeah.
me, gravel is a gravel road, a gravel path, like
And that's
very
exactly what you think about
non-technical.
with
Yeah.
gravel. But then if
I
you
don't
ask someone
actually
like
think Western
Kraft
states.
or
Yeah.
Solomon, yeah, and they'll say, they'll include those, of course. But they also
Yeah.
say that light trail scenario. And
Yeah.
so that's where like a leveling of this idea, like maybe that's my mission for 2026. Let's just all come to a conclusion with one word of what describes this category, because it makes it hard for even someone to like, if you say you want a gravel shoe, even like shoe designers. Okay, my interpretation of gravel, like taking Craft for example, of like their lead designers are in LA. Gravel in LA
Hmm.
is probably a different mentality of gravel than in Sweden. And so like just kind of leveling that for the industry of what does it actually mean? And are we going to continue saying gravel, or is that just the buzzword? Is it actually the door to trail of old shoes, or is it not? And what the heck does hybrid even mean? Of like,
I think like that's where I'm at. And even like asking my friend Marie, because she was like, okay, when you go run the second section of Black Canyon, let me know how technical it is. And I was like, okay, well, how technical, how technical do you think the trails that we were on are? And so we like tried to
yeah,
calibrate. And we were like, I was like, okay, between 1 to 10, how would you say? And I was like, okay, for the sections we ran, I would say like three, at most four, five.
and, and
And
that's so
then
dependent on
she
your
was like,
experience, though.
yeah. And she was like, I would say like 5, 6. And I was
Okay,
like, okay, interesting.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
this kind of makes me think of like we're doing some things with how we're um, kind of judging shoes or reviewing shoes, kind of thinking about other ways. But the whole idea of like design, when that comes into play, and aesthetics are part of that, of like your
Hmm.
view of aesthetics and what might look good might be different, you know, could be vastly different from what I enjoy and whatnot. And so like those gray areas are hard because they're so limited by experience. Like I don't have the whole street style or anything in my wheelhouse to be able to pull from and say this is what looks good, and I just know kind of like trail running footwear. But same with the difficulty of a trail of like technical here in Colorado means something completely different than technical out east on those type of trails, and or even out west. Like our mountains are different than the Sierras. Like yeah. So how do we even level that term? So I would say for our conversation, though, it kind of includes all of that. Like you have to be knowledgeable that there has been a door to trail category and what that means. There is a hybrid category, and those two are more synonymous, I think, than when you're adding gravel itself specifically, because they add that pavement capability, which I would say any shoe so far that's been in that gravel category too has been able to handle pavement in different ways. But it all depends on the build of the shoe. So for our purposes, it would include anything from pavement all the way to light trail, which here's how I would define it. Like when we use
Okay.
it within reviews of like light trail is a trail you do not have to pay attention to run. And so like
Okay.
most of your time is not spent looking down at the different rocks and roots and all that. Moderate is like some of the time. Some of the time you are looking down, you're negotiating terrain, all that. Technical is like your constant state of mind is focusing on where your feet and potentially hands are going. And so if we kind of think of it that way, of light is like almost none of the time you have to focus on what's going on below your feet. Would that be
Yeah,
a fair way of describing that?
yeah, I agree with that assessment for sure. Yeah, that feels
Okay.
right.
Anything you would add?
Mm, no, that feels good. I like that.
Okay. Okay. And yeah. And so maybe here, I'm just going to have a meeting with all brands and we'll settle on my definition of what gravel is.
Fantastic.
And we'll all say the same thing. Have you ever seen that video of like, I think it's called Milk, the YouTube video?
Oh,
It's a
no. I'm
little
like
bit
really
dated right
bad at
now.
the internet. Yeah.
Well,
I'm like the
it's a long
worst
time ago,
internet
like
consumer.
when I was in high school, probably.
Okay.
But at one point they're like arguing about how to say milk.
This
And
feels
then one
so
of the guys is
Midwest.
like, we're all saying the same thing, Josh. We're all saying milk. And I'm like, and, you know, and I feel like we're all saying the same thing, but we're just using a different word for it, right?
This feels so Midwest of you. We're just like
Yeah.
watching a YouTube video of people saying milk.
I'll send it to you. You'll understand.
I
There's a
would
little dark
love to
humor
see
at the end
this.
of it of like, yeah, I'll
I'm
save
here
that
for
part
that.
for you. Yeah, I'll send it to
Yeah,
you. So if anybody resonates with that video, though, it's one of my all-time favorites. But
I
anyways,
love
and
that.
like oddly quoted so many times in my life, the different sentences within that. But we're all saying the same thing when we're saying like this is a shoe that should be able to handle the gravel roads you're thinking
Yes.
of, some of the
Yep.
pavement, like if you're going like a door to trail scenario, and it should be able to handle some of the light trail. So a lot
Yes.
of the things
Agreed.
in the build of this shoe, like you could have more trail inspiration, like kind of being let let loose a little bit, like they're kind of like taking off the constraints a little bit of a trail shoe, or you could have it from the roadside. And that's why I think this particular category is really cool of like you could have like the purely road inspiration and adapt it a little bit, which is kind of like the old trail shoe model, but it's coming up with a lot of really cool different shoes, different ideas. And that's why I think it's
Yeah.
actually probably harder to say what it actually is than what it's not as of late.
It almost just feels like running looked at cycling and was like, okay, they have a gravel
Yeah,
category. Maybe we should have a gravel category.
which could
And
totally
even,
be the case. Because
yeah, and
I
even
would
in,
bet that outdoor clothing is maybe part of that too. Of like, and that's probably actually where this started in terms of a marketable thing. Of like, we actually need the lifestyle piece is actually pulling so much from the outdoor inspiration, but they still want it to be, be able to wear it on the street, but kind of like, outdoors inspiration. And so I wonder what kind of correlation there is there, even with the cycling and now into
yeah.
gravel running.
Well,
Pretty
and
soon,
like
Ultra
so
is going to be
many,
making an outfit for gravel running, and then we'll know it's not cool anymore.
so many of the, like, I guess the shoes use rubber from cycling like tires. And so like
Yeah.
they already have gravel tires. So it would make
Hmm.
sense to me that they're like, oh, well, this is our gravel tire tread or
Hmm.
composite, and we're just putting this on a shoe. Um, it's a gravel shoe. And you're like, yeah, but is it?
But is it? Yeah, and we've seen that in terms of like outsole. Not only is the pattern typically changed, like if you look at the Merrell Pro Morph, it's basically just a lot of little rounded beads that were melted together. It kind of looks like, and that's like the lug depth actually has to be like, I don't know, at most 2 millimeters within those,
Okay.
but they're just like a bunch of little balls, and it works really well. So that could be, this gravel pattern. But then you also have some that look just like trail running lugs, but they're actually like between 2 and 3.5 millimeters. So a lot more
Okay.
subtle.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
like that.
probably the idea of gravel tires too, right?
Yeah. I mean, like George is out riding right now, and his tires, which I literally think they're the worst tires in the world. They're called a Gravel King. They're awful. And but
Awful
like
in the
they look like
sense.
they just get a lot of flats. They're just
Okay.
not great tires. Cycling very different in terms of like how you judge a tire versus how you judge um like a shoe, but
Yeah.
it's the they get punctures very easily, but they're basically like wide, slick tires, but they're
Oh,
gravel tires meant for like gravel roads. But a lot of
yeah.
times you'll be on like kind of technical gravel roads, and then they're even worse. And so the scope and the range of gravel tire that you could possibly get within this category can
Yeah.
range from like anything that looks like a road tire to a mountain bike tire. So it's the
Hmm.
same issue that trail running is having.
Yeah, exactly. And for the most part, it's like it makes sense that they're wider in cycling, but for the most part, what we're seeing in gravel, hybrid, door to trail shoes, most of these shoes are actually like fairly high stack, have more energetic foam, and try to be lightweight as well. So yeah, it's interesting that most of the builds of shoes, and obviously in shoes, whether you're road, trail, in this hybrid category, of like we're trending that way and we've been trending that way anyways. But in this hybrid or gravel space, there's really not many that are lower than like what 35 millimeters. And so that'd be a rarity. A
Yeah.
lot of the builds are actually coming in being very similar.
I do have to admit, the shoe that we just reviewed, the North Face Altamesa
Yeah.
500,
Let's talk about it.
is my classic DTF, door to
Yep.
forest, door to
Door to
trail,
forest.
DT,
Yep.
door to door to trail, DTT, D squared, DT
DTT. But
squared.
I like the door to forest. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I love that because like it is, even though it's like a pretty bulky shoe, it's actually quite
Yeah.
nice to run on the
Hmm.
road. Like I feel like it's not quite as like luggy and heavy as it maybe
Yeah.
appears. But then, I'll do like casual little in-town trails that are zero technicality. Um, and I love being able to kind of do all the surfaces while
Yeah.
still being able to do like, again, that light trail where I rarely have to pay attention, or like I know it so well, I don't have to really pay attention.
Yeah.
Um, and it definitely, it's like not a road shoe at all, obviously,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel, I guess it just doesn't feel slow,
Yeah,
shockingly.
exactly. And it doesn't feel like most of the trail shoes that are on the wall. And
Yeah.
like that's where in my mind I think this category is a valid category from a lot of different standpoints, because a lot of people take the mindset of like just grab a road shoe or just grab a trail shoe, like you don't need something new for this. However, you and I, or I'll speak for myself, of like all of my runs include a mile or two of gravel road, which of course that's what this is targeting, plus a little bit of light
Hmm.
trail, and then it can get into some more technical stuff from there depending on what trail I'm hitting. And it's like entirely practical. If I was going to be a one shoe wonder kind of guy, the Altamesa 500 could be one of those options because it does do so well on all of the more non-technical stuff. And when you ask it to, I wouldn't say that the fit is optimal, and they're not claiming that it's optimal for going on the moderately technical trails. Um, it's quite roomy. But you could do it if you really wanted to. And so that's where I'd be like willing to bend more of like, how far are you willing to push this particular shoe rather than pushing a road shoe in my scenario?
And I definitely like took it on some trails I know it wasn't made for,
Yeah.
just to see like how will it do on these like kind of technical sections. And yeah, like if you really need to like focus on where to place your feet, I just slowed down and I was like, okay, I'll just
Yeah.
like walk this little section, like it's fine.
Yeah.
But because the platform is so wide, if you are needing like quick movements, it it does feel not as great, but again, it's not meant for that. But I was fine.
Yeah,
Like I never had any problems. And then this iteration compared to the previous one, I did find that even on those technical sections, the outsole was the surface control was just so much better. The
this
rubber was
time
so much
around for
better.
sure.
Yeah, this time around that like it gave me a little more confidence on sections that I like definitely shouldn't have
Yeah.
taken the or the shoe on.
Yeah, and the more I think about like this category, because it's in front of us all the time, a lot of shoes we're getting are either in this category or, this category is going to explode more this year. Of like not like in the H1, the Mount to Coast H1, it was our door to trail or hybrid gravel shoe of the year this last year. That's a great example of like what we're trying to do with this category, or this is what I imagine that brands are trying to do, is that you're not bringing the sacrifice level up as much. So, like,
Hmm.
yes, you could go to a road shoe, but then you're sacrificing having, no lugs at all. There's some true trail running technology that can be good on even light trail. That's like not just a road technology adopted for the trail, like it's meant specifically for trail. And it's like you're not having to sacrifice or give up so much by going with a shoe like a hybrid shoe. Because not many
Yeah.
people, of course, have the same walls of shoes that we have going on. Like we can pick a choose for a shoe for any single adventure we want. But if you are just like either needing a shoe that's it needs to fit the bill on both ends of the road or a little bit of trail, or if you just find yourself going from door to trail or want to do that excursion more often and not have to like feel 5 millimeter lugs underneath your foot 4 miles to get to the trail, or if you just want that like same like familiar, like the Adidas Evo SL is coming out in a kind of a gravel version. They're calling it ATR. If you want that similar feeling sensation that you would in a high end road shoe for some light trail, like there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah. And I think this shoe in particular, the Altamesa, does a good job of being that middle ground where like normally I would say like on the scale of like road shoe, road super shoe to like approach shoe. If those are our like
Oh yeah.
extreme
Hmm.
categories, normally the stuff in the middle that's like trying to be good at both is just like it doesn't pan out well. Like you kind of have to
Yeah.
pick. And so I think North Face did like a really good job of making a good quote. I don't know if we want to call it hybrid, but just like this middle
Yeah.
ground shoe, which maybe that's what we need to call gravel is just the middle ground,
The
like
middle ground.
literally middle ground.
Yeah, right.
Um,
People wouldn't come to a consensus on that.
no,
They
but I
wouldn't find
think
any middle ground on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I think the more you get closer to like one side, the worse it is at the opposing side, right? So like road
Yep.
shoes terrible at approach, approach shoes would feel awful on the road,
Yeah.
and whichever side of the scale you tip to, the worse it is for the other side. And
Yeah.
so I think, yeah, that middle situation, trying to do all things really well, can create a bad shoe.
Yeah.
So I honestly think this like gravel category is probably the hardest for a company
Yeah.
to do really well because the
But
expectations are vague and the uses are slightly
there's
vague.
obviously
Yeah.
no specific definition of it. So when you're trying to solve
Yeah.
for a specific problem that has
Hmm.
less specificity, like that makes it
Yeah.
hard. But the thing is, like, I like your analogy of using like a spectrum, but I feel like what this
Hmm.
hybrid category is doing, it's adding depth to that spectrum. And so
Yeah.
now with a lot of shoes that we're going to be seeing, like, not only do we have to look at like that, one plane of the spectrum, we're starting to now see in all these different categories, and even, you know, gravel itself as a name is new, but the whole idea isn't that new. So now we're just seeing depth to all this. And like, it's just interesting because there's a lot of shoes in this category. Like a few of our favorites from this last year were like the Craft Explorer 2. We have the North Face Altamesa 500 V2. Like they're getting second generations of it for this specific task. And so that's like enhancing it really quick. The Hoka Mafate X, I don't think you got to run in that one, but that
No.
would be in this kind of hybrid category
Okay.
shoe and like taking it all to the max. And so like that one's actually, I think, has some good application here. Merrell Promorph is one that's a specific gravel shoe. Topo
The
Athletic
Rocket
Ultra
X
Venture
Trail.
5. And that's where I was going to go next. The fact that there
Yeah.
are racers in this category shows that they're going to continue to press on this pedal. And so
What
the one you
and I think like what I wrote this in my review is, Lifetime, the company who owns all the Leadville stuff,
Yep.
they kind of like took over cycling gravel scene and made this like ridiculous like circuit out of it where like people have to apply to get in, and it's like this whole circus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like, I don't know, I have some opinions on it, but I'm like,
It's
oh
kind of
no,
like,
is this I'm like, is this going to happen for running? And I think it wouldn't be bad, right? You'd have like incredible road racers coming out and racing on like gravel roads, and less permitting issues, bigger fields, faster,
well, I have to say there
easier
already
for
is a
spectating.
race. There's a race in, I think it's near Lincoln, Nebraska. They're calling it Gravel Worlds, or somewhere between Lincoln and Omaha. And I know, just tagging it
like the cycling?
No, running.
Oh, there's a run. Yeah. That's where the cycling one is too.
Okay. And so I wonder if I bet you they're in conjunction with each other now.
Yeah, they have to be.
But it's interesting. Yeah. I always take it with a grain of salt when someone calls their thing that's so niche a world championship. It's like Frisbee golf world championship of Texas. I'm like, it doesn't. Yeah. So that's, I don't know if there's ever going to be an elite scene on there, but it would be cool to see elite runners in there. You think so?
Oh, 100%.
Running.
Yeah. So, because there's already a gravel bike race called Mid-South. That's like, again, it's like this dentist convention, kind of like everyone goes there. It's just like a social media thing. And they have I think a 50K race on gravel roads the day before. And so I'm like, this is going to be a lifetime thing. They're going to start adding gravel running, because think of the registration fees. You could get so many more people out there. And this is really what took off gravel cycling. And so many brands had to like create gravel bikes because the demand started becoming huge because it was so accessible. And so I can see how this would follow the same trajectory for running, where I'm like, compared to a major marathon or trail running, gravel is so accessible if it becomes like a racing scene, because permits are easy. You don't have to worry about technical stuff. You can permit any flyover state, country road way easier than you can with like the national forest.
And this is where Brooks could be a great sponsor for like Midwest, of like everybody or every rural area where Brooks Ghost is like the most popular shoe of like any running store across the country. Let's be honest, of like they could market it to these people. Oh, I have this Brooks Ghost Trail for you for the gravel category. Yeah, they'd be a great sponsor for it.
My friend Marie she's a road runner first, but she wore the Brooks Ghost Trail on the Black Canyon course, and definitely she was fine. Like, it was great.
Yeah, exactly.
But gravel, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be the exact
Reese
same trajectory as cycling. Yep. We're going to have some weird lifetime gravel trail running series before you know it.
Oh no.
I guarantee
I don't think Aravaipa won't let Lifetime take that.
Dude, Aravaipa owns like everything. Race I've ever. I'm like, oh my God.
And you can get in one every single weekend. And that's where like a company like that, I think, could probably actually pull this off, because it's like they have road marathons in their portfolio. They have some of the most elite trail runs in their portfolio, and pretty much everything in between. Every niche style. You have the backyard ultras, you have the hill climbs, you have, all of it. So they would be the ones that I would think could go hard in this. But I wonder, instead of calling it gravel race, as we're talking about this, the idea of hybrid might be the most truthfully marketed word for all of this. Because I'm thinking of so when I'm back in Iowa, I am a hybrid. That's probably why it's not hybrid, because hybrid athletes have, that whole tag. This isn't just for hybrid athletes, but I am more of a hybrid runner in the sense that I take off from my in-laws' house, run be 1.8 miles of road. Then I do a little more than a mile, between a mile and 2 miles of gravel, until I get to some grassy and single track trails. And then, run all that. And so it has all these surfaces, and that could be a hybrid run. It's not a road run. It's not a trail run, but it includes all that. And I guess JFK is kind of like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of those styles of races yeah.
Now, my prediction is that
It's
Lifetime,
gravel.
with their existing cycling events
Mm-hmm.
that already are on permitted gravel roads, they're just going to tack on an ultra, or a 50K, the
Yeah.
day before, open it up to 500 people. And then people are going to double up, because we can't help but love a
Yeah.
double up, and gravel racing will be born. And then
Okay.
I think that's my bet. That is my bet for 20. I think we'll
Would you
hear
go
about
for
it
it?
in 20.
Would you do it? Would you go for
No,
a
I'm not
gravel race?
fast enough.
Okay.
I'm not fast enough. No way.
Well,
Would
I
you?
think it sounds fun. Yeah. Because I mean, I enjoy running every surface, obviously partial to trail. But if you can, it's kind of like the beginning of our conversation. There's input, lots of different styles of input
Yeah.
as a runner that way, of you kind of get a slice of all regions, I guess, which, has less of a barrier, potential for different types of fun. And you can use a lot of spaces that aren't already utilized. This doesn't have to be in a city. It could literally be in cornfields and
It's going to be on a
wherever.
county road in the middle of
Yes.
nowhere.
Which are it's kind of like how 13ers, in the sense of 13,000 foot peaks. There's way more 13ers that I would want to go up and enjoy more than 14ers. And so I feel like hybrid is kind of the same, of there's a lot more roads and stuff that would be in this category that I would want to run that aren't on the normal paths of most people.
Okay.
Maybe we need to
thinking
get in the gravel business. Let's beat them to it.
I'm thinking.
You got a lot of capital you can throw down?
No.
Me neither.
Yeah, I think.
Dang it.
I think
we need to find a sugar daddy.
I need more of the drama and the theater that plays out in trail, where it's the climb or the descent, and there's that is dramatic, and it feels very different than pure running, which I love, obviously, but I think gravel racing definitely has a different feel, and just feel it's more marathon adjacent to me. But I think it'll happen. I think it'll be cool. We'll see.
So we'll see if Lifetime, Aravaipa, or Xterra takes it over first. That feels like
it could be Believe in the Run. Let's do a Believe in the Run gravel race.
Yes. Okay,
in
I'll
Fort
work
Collins.
on business pitch. Could be a great spot for it, honestly.
I feel like east of Fort Collins, we've got it. There's got to be. There's plenty of county roads.
We could stop out in Severance for the world's greatest Rocky Mountain oysters, apparently.
I mean, maybe that can just be a you thing. That sounds terrible.
No, I've never had it, but it was in a conversation this week.
Oh my God.
I would try it. If someone bought them, I would try them.
No. I'm good.
Aid station of Rocky Mountain oysters. Come
Disgusting.
on.
Absolutely mortifying.
Throw them in your little rubber cup and go.
Ew. Ew. All right.
You
Well,
don't
with
need any
that,
element after that.
on that note, I should go for my run.
Yeah, you should. What shoe are you going to go out and run in?
North Face Active Sky 2.
Oh, your fave. I was
Yeah.
thinking that maybe it would be one of these potential gravel racing super shoes, Hoka Rocket X Trail, Puma Deviate Nitro Elite Trail. Would that be in the running for this race for you?
Maybe. I haven't thought about that one in a
Okay.
minute. I feel like I need a little bit
Yeah.
of a smaller size than what I have. But I
Okay.
just brought that shoe because it fits so well and I was nervous about how technical it was.
Yeah.
And so I was like, bless my ankle. Let's let's be safe.
The trail gods.
Yeah.
Take me away. Okay, so
Yeah.
how about we'll talk about your shoe choice. I know people have asked. I'm curious about, since this is not a brand trip for you,
Yes.
what are you gonna choose? And
Is it
next
now or
time,
later? I feel like we got to make sure I'm
let's do it
running this
later.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's make sure I'm
let's do
actually
it 2 weeks
gonna
from
complete.
now. 2 weeks from now, we'll
Okay.
check into your shoe rotation of your potential.
Okay. Lovely.
Okay. Okay.
This was fun.
As always, it's lovely.
Fantastic. So good to
Yeah,
see
I'm
you.
gonna go run some gravel actually
What
in
do
a
you
shoe
even
though that
mean?
it's not a well, I'm gonna run some gravel roads to the trails and
No, I'm kidding.
but
I'm
the
kidding.
shoe oh okay, never mind.
God.
Shut up, Reese. You got me.
I love that I'm like just trolling you and you just go for it. You're like, she's
Yeah.
being so nice. I'm like,
Well,
no.
I'm probably one of those people who would be like slightly am I gonna be the one who's slightly offended when people are like, gravel isn't a category? That's just stupid. Am I
I
one of those
offend like
people?
everyone. So maybe we just put that in my category. We put that in
Yeah,
my
okay.
bucket.
Yeah, that's Reese.
Yeah.
Okay. Until next week.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, this is Taylor with Believe in the Run, and today I am welcoming back a guest to the Drop podcast. Many of you will know him, and if you don't, this will be a great chance to know what he's all about. On today's episode is Michael Wardian. He's a Teva athlete for the Teva Bureau of Adventure, which, I mean, I'm wearing the sweatshirt right now, and I feel like an honorary member there. They sent me a sweatshirt. But Michael, welcome back to the Drop.
Hey man, thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be back, and it's always fun talking with you guys. We just chit chatted for like 20 minutes of our time before we started recording. So
I should have just
I
hit
know,
record.
I know. Well, no, I think it'll be great, man. I feel like that's what I love about podcasts is you can just go off and talk about whatever you're interested in, and then we get to share that with people. So it's kind of like being on like a run with a bunch of friends, and they're just like right in your ears, and everybody's
Exactly.
hanging out.
Yeah, and I mean that's always the goal, like with the Drop, and what I think of, like if people can end this episode getting to know like Michael Wardian as kind of a new buddy that you could just go on a run and catch up with, like that's obviously the goal. And the big topic right now is Burrito League. So I'd imagine if we were on a run with a bunch of people, they'd be asking your big Burrito League update. So what's that like for
Yeah.
you right now?
Yeah, well, so it's kind of a funny story because I was traveling the first couple days of January this year. I was with my family in Portugal, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm going to be so far behind the Chipotle challenge when I get back to DC." And then I started I saw, I think Jamil posted something about like, "Boo, like Burrito League's not happening," or
Yeah.
Chipotle's not happening. And so then I DM'd him because we were DMing last year. He saw me doing it, and then he jumped in, and then of course like he went like absolutely bonkers and like crushed it. And
Insane.
I actually
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy cool to see like him and the other dude battling it out. And then I was in kind of a race with this cool guy Blake that lives in the DC area. And then my wife fell and broke her wrist, and then I literally like just had to
Oh
drop
man.
out. And
Priorities.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was like the worst injury she's ever had. So it actually happened 1 year ago today, actually, because this morning she
Oh
goes, you know what we were
man.
doing this time last year? And I was like, no. And she's like, oh, that's when I fell on the ice. And I was like, oh, crap. So,
Yeah,
so
don't
anyhow,
replay that one.
yeah, exactly. Like it was a bummer. But what was crazy was, I was like, oh, well, this year I can do it when I get back. And then I started looking around and I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, there's only like information for 2025. I don't see anything. And then I saw
Yeah.
Jamil's post and I saw like, I went to the Strava segment for DC and I saw Blake did like one. And I was like, what's wrong with Blake? Why hasn't he done like, I don't know, 50 miles or something already? And then I DM'd Jamil and I was like, hey, dude, what's going on with the Chipotle thing? He's like, I don't think they're having it. And I was like, I think we could just do it ourselves, right? Like,
Wow, how
and
they missed
then,
out on the running community there.
yeah, but I was like, yeah, let's just do it ourselves. And Jamil was like already thinking that, I guess, because like the next day, he like launched the Burrito League. And I was like, dude, I love Jamil just like does stuff like, and I think it's just
Yeah.
awesome. And so then I was like, well, crap, like I'm still in Portugal. I can't like create a loop and, from Portugal, like that I can trust. Um, like I have a loop around my house, but that's not very fun for everyone else. And so then
Yeah.
I was like, well, there's a Chipotle like in Ballston, like, which is like a mile from my house, but also it's like close to the metro. It's got good parking. Cause when I was driving down to DC every day last year for like 15 days, I was like, this sucks. Like I was spending all this money in parking and like it had a bunch of road crossings. And I was just like, you could be doing so many more miles if this was just set up better. And so I kind of set up my
Yeah.
loop where it looks like a tortilla chip, which is cool. The DC loop. It look,
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah, and it's all right hand turns. And there's one section that kind of sucks because they're doing some construction and they close the sidewalk. But whatever. It's like you have to run in the road for like I don't know 100 yards. But other than that, it's pretty great. And so you can just do as many loops as you want. You never really have to cross traffic or anything. And so I set it up and then put it out there. And then the biggest thing that I did, I wanted to do something kind of different than just doing miles because I know
Mm-hmm.
when I was doing it last year, I had the thing with my wife and I wasn't able to keep going, but I could have maybe gone down and got like a 50K in or 100K, but it didn't make sense to like go down and, somebody's already like 300 miles ahead. So the way I set up the DMB, which stands for, I mean, you're Baltimore based in Colorado podcast, but DMB is like District,
Yeah.
Maryland and Virginia.
Okay.
Is I wanted to have like different thresholds for people to earn prizes. So like, if you just do one loop, you get free entry into the Taco Bell DC 50K, which I'm the race director of with my buddy Phil Hargis, and it's a free entry anyhow. So like, it's kind of a joke.
Yeah.
But
People
then
on that
if you
start line. Yeah.
yeah, and then if you do 50 loops, it's a 1K loop is the segment that I set up. So it's a little longer than a lot of the other loops are like 0.3 or 0.4. But I just thought
Yeah.
1K is nice and round number, and it works out perfectly for the route that goes around and makes the taco the chip. So if you
It's
do
brilliant,
50K,
really.
yeah, it's great. And so you can do intervals too, which is nice, or whatever you want. So you can build in workouts.
Yeah.
So if you do 50K for the first 50 people that do 50K, I just send you $15. You can go and get a burrito wherever you want. And there's a Chipotle right on the course. So literally like I did a 50K on Sunday and then I just went and bought a burrito with the $15.
Refueled.
Yes. And I actually was able to get mine for 12. So you end up positive $3. So that's
Ooh,
just for
wow.
yeah, there you go. And then if you do
Set a nice
100,
tip out there.
yeah, exactly. And then if you do 100K, 15 people are going to get a free pair of Tevas. So that's pretty cool. If you do 100 miles, you get entry into the Alexandria half marathon. We have 5 entries for those people. And then if you do 500K, K, so 320 miles over the course. This isn't like, you don't have to do it straight. You can cut, you know, it's, so yeah, you can just come in anytime between January 10th and January 31st and do some loops, and it'll count towards your total. And if someone does 500 loops, they get a Dewey Beer gift pack, which is like some merch, some beer. You got to be 21 though. Sorry for anyone under 21, or give it to your parents or whatever. And then they get a pack of beer a month for the entire year. So there's an incentive. And then if no one gets that high, then we'll just give it to whoever goes the furthest.
You keep the beer yourself. No, that's good.
Now I want to make sure people can try it. Actually, I think it's THC beer.
Okay.
So yeah,
that might be extra incentive for folks.
Yeah. So that's another reason that, people can, have fun with it.
The whole Burrito League thing is a little bit beyond or different than my typical like single track trail run alone that I prefer. But this is also what I love about just the running industry itself. One, you can go to any of these Burrito Leagues, and it's going to be a little bit different depending on the community that's there all around the country. And I love that about the trail running space, or just the running space in general, not just trail running. And I mean, like the way you did it might be a little bit different from somebody else, and neither is wrong or right. It's just a different experience with a different group of people. And that's really cool about the Burrito League, that it's kind of like that blessing in disguise that it didn't work out the way it did last year, because it just blew it up in a different way and includes so many more people. And I appreciate how you're choosing to go about it too, of like, just, it really is an inclusive effort to get more people doing this really obscure thing. And you're bound to run into someone at least once or twice on that 1K loop, right?
Oh, 100%, dude. I ran with like 3 dudes during my 50K. And one of the guys, like, I worked out with him earlier in the day, and I was like, holy crap, Patrick, what are you doing here? He's like,
coming back?
Yeah, well, no, I did a CrossFit workout with him, and then he was like, oh, you were talking about this. So he came out, and I was like, oh, I'm doing my 50K. So yeah, he just came and ran a couple miles with me, and then I saw some other people on the loop. What's really funny though is when you think somebody is on the loop, because it like has a bunch of corners, and I'm like, oh man, that person's killing it, and then they like branch off, and you're like, oh, they weren't actually even doing they weren't even
they didn't even know. It's just their normal Dorito loop.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're just going for a run. But yeah, it's
well,
fun.
they might get a surprise entry to a race or something like that.
Well, exactly, or some burritos. But currently, I'm in first place with like 69 loops, and then there's one other athlete with 49 loops, and then we have another athlete with 41 loops, and then we have 2 athletes with 19 and 20 loops, one athlete with 17 to 18, and another athlete with 15, 2 athletes with 11. And 1 athlete with 7. So I think there's like, a fair amount of people doing it. And like, I mean, maybe this makes it grow even more, and we get more people come out, and we can give out more burritos, which is kind of the goal.
Yeah. I mean, I would think so. Like, I'm generally an optimist, and I would assume that, if someone sees like, okay, a 1K loop is my barrier to entry. I can go walk a 1K. I can go run a 1K. Okay, that was actually like maybe even a little easier than I thought. And then add another one. And then they see other people out there doing it. It's just like kind of this chain reaction of just positive stuff,
I hope so.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's the weather hasn't been too terrible either. Like last year when I was doing it, it was like a ice storm. I don't know. I mean, the people in Baltimore probably remember.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a bomb cyclone or something. So it like made everything icy and kind of crappy weather. And that's actually what caused my wife to fall and hurt herself. But this year the weather has been kind of nice so far. So, there's less reason not to do it.
Do you have a fastest loop on that?
I do not actually. I I think the fastest loop was set by somebody else. And I think it was
Okay.
just like a dude in his, it's Riley Herman, and he has the course record, and he set it, it actually just got set like the 11th, so 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yes, that's cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, before that, it was somebody that was like from 2023, so I hadn't seen the update.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this dude, Riley, has the new course record
Shout
of
out Riley.
3 minutes, 35 seconds. 5:36
Hey, that's
a
cooking.
mile. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do that
that's
a few
awesome.
times. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Okay.
little pace. Well, especially on that
Yeah.
loop, like it's you got to jump some curbs, and it's not like a track or anything.
3 hard turns too, if you're doing a true tortilla chip there.
100%, yeah.
Okay. I'm sure we could talk our whole time on the Burrito League of like, it's a cool idea, just like in general, especially dead of winter for all of us where there's not many other races going on. But you're kind of known for having a wide range of things you're really good at. You can rip a 5K in sandals. You can go do, hard rock maybe the next day. You've been known for your range and longevity. And I've had some people ask when I do get the chance to interview Michael Wardian, just ask about his daily routine and how do you continue to be so fast and be able to do this as you age and have a family and a big job and like all of this together. It's just, there's so many moving pieces in your life, it seems. And do you have any leading tips for folks?
I think the biggest thing for me is I get up early. I think that really helps me get a jump on what I need to do to kind of get the results that I'm looking for. So like we were talking about it earlier.
When you say early, what does this mean?
It's like 4:45 is when I get up. And then today I had a 5:30 meeting with Jesse Fuller, who's a personal trainer that I work with and physical therapist.
I'm a personal fan of his as well.
Amazing
dude,
stuff. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He makes me squirm on the regular.
Can you describe him briefly and what he does?
Yeah, I'd say Jesse is an endurance athlete also. So he comes from a background in sport, and then he helps athletes kind of achieve their fitness goals through physical motion. So like he's programming all the stuff. I kind of think of it as all the stuff that I don't really enjoy doing on my own that makes me a better athlete. So it's like, like today I was doing like a side plank where you like roll a ball out slowly. So you're like stabilizing in an in kind of compromised position. So it's just making like you work your core, but also coordination. So it's like all those little movements where, you're doing 100. Actually, he said, if there's one thing you could tell somebody the next time you get interviewed is like, just do, as a runner, you kind of lean up against a wall and do toe raises. Just do 100 of those and it'll like bulletproof your shins and knees. So I was like, okay, I'll make sure I mention that. So like, it's like little stuff like that. Like, I think makes a huge difference. And so I work out with him a couple times a week. When I'm not working out with him at 5:45 so I work out with Jesse Tuesdays and Thursdays, Monday, Wednesday,
So you get to see
Friday.
him in person? Is that right?
Yeah, I see him in person, but he does see people
awesome.
online. Yeah. So he does virtual also. So he works with people all over the world. But when I'm not seeing him, I'm usually working out with my best friend, this guy, Tom Merhofer. And we usually do kind of a CrossFit type workout. That's usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so then
you don't just run, man.
No, I don't just run.
I have time for one thing. No, I'm just kidding.
But I do run a lot. Like I think last week I did 95 miles. I'd say normally I'm between like 60 and 70 miles. Some weeks more, some weeks less. But then I'm adding in, I think we had mentioned before we got on, but I'm going to row across the Atlantic Ocean in 2027. So I've been working in a lot of like erging on the Concept 2. And then, so I'll do my first workout, probably between 5 and 5:30, come home, get some food or pick up the dog and go for another kind of quick run. And usually that's anywhere from 10K to 10 miles. And then I'll start work. I work as an international shipbroker. So, as soon as I wake up, I've got messages coming in
Yeah.
from all over the world. But I'll be monitoring emails and whatnot. And then you kind of work from 9 to noon, and then go ahead.
Is that something like I recently was given the Zwift to review, and I've been like typing out articles while I'm on the Zwift. Is that something that you also do? Do you get like extra miles that way ever?
I do actually. This morning I ran on the treadmill and was doing. I do a lot of podcasts and books, so like I'll get in stuff
Okay.
like that. But I'll also like dictate emails or reply to emails while I'm running or doing whatever. And then I actually took a job. Yeah, exactly. I started running people's dogs, so like that's another business that
amazing.
I do. Yeah, so I get some more miles in anywhere between the sweet spot for that is between 11 and 1. So I'll do like anywhere from 2 to 4 miles depending on the speed of the dog and the length of time that I'm running them for. That's like one of my favorite jobs I've ever had. Actually, is like running dogs.
That'd be a dream, honestly.
Dude, it's so cool. They are like so excited to see you, and then of course I'm so excited just to get to go running again. So
and it's kind of like being an uncle too, of like you get to do all the fun stuff with them and drop them off again, and they're tired and happy, and will remember you just like that.
Yes, exactly. Like you don't have to do any of the disciplining or any of that stuff. I mean, you just got to pick up the poop and then find somewhere to put it, which is fine. I love that job. And so then I'll come back and see if I missed anything, and then start working again, and then kind of like by 5 o'clock or so. Trying to get ready for like eating and like hanging out with the family and seeing, a lot of times we'll have like sporting events or games or whatever. And, usually I've got in, 3 to 4 hours of, exercise. A lot of times I'll go play pickleball if I have the chance. So I'm always like pretty active, like doing a lot of different things.
And is this something that like has kind of always been your MO? Like, there's Mike just running around again. Like you just kind of like pack it all in and kind of need to be in motion. Otherwise you're asleep basically.
I kind of like pass out. And then I think one of the things a lot of people remember about me is I don't need a ton of sleep. So that kind of gives me a little bit more, flexibility to do a lot of more stuff. Like that's, and then, it's trying to like, make sure that I'm, responsive to our clients on the shipping side, and then with the sponsors that I have. Trying to keep them up to date on what's going on and what I have coming up, and how I did and what I did.
And how does that piece of like being a professional athlete kind of fit into all this? Obviously, you're moving all day, and that's obviously building a huge fitness base for you and doing all these different things, but down to like the practical standpoint of like when you're choosing adventures to go on or races to go after, like what kind of filters, or do you even send that through a filter in terms of like what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it? Or is it just like, that sounds fun and you go for it?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think like all my relationships with sponsors are partnerships. So like we're working together to determine like what the goals should be for different events and adventures. I think the great thing about, being a Teva Bureau of Adventure athlete is they're pretty open to any ideas that you put out there. I think that's one of the things I really love about having them as a sponsor is like they're more excited about adventures than they are like, you have to do the certain race at a certain time. Like
Yeah.
there
Yep.
is like, there is an opportunity for that. And, if there's something that I want to do, they're on board with that. But I think together we've been able to come up with a lot of fun adventures and a lot of like really cool experiences. And I think that's kind of what I'm excited about at this point is like, seeing what's out there and kind of exploring it.
And I was going to kind of save this till the end, but spoiler alert, you have a big adventure coming up real soon. And could you describe that for folks a little bit?
Yeah, man. So I've got a couple of big adventures, but the one that's most pressing at the moment and coming up the soonest is I'm going to be doing 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. It's called the World Marathon Challenge. I've actually run it twice. The first time was 9 years ago, which is crazy, in 2017.
Wow. And I remember following that. That makes me feel old already.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So that was like the first time that I did it. And then, but it's a little twist this year. I'm going to break the world record for 7. Well, I'm going to attempt to break it, but hopefully if everything goes well, I think my training's pretty good. I have a good shot at it, is set the world record for 7 50Ks in 7 days on 7 continents. So 7 ultra marathons consecutively on all 7 continents.
And is this something that has an existing record, or are you setting the bar here?
No, actually, no. There's another guy that set the record just a couple months ago.
Okay.
So what was it? It's Chris Brown Johnson. He's a U.S. based athlete. And he did it a couple months ago. And so the time to beat is 31 hours, 25 minutes, 37 seconds. I just got to.
I'm trying to break that up into my 50K math real quick.
Oh yeah. So I just to go through it, like his time in Antarctica was 5 hours, 5 minutes, 14 seconds. In Africa, he ran 4:19:57. Australia 4:34. Asia 4:29. Europe 4:30. South America 4:25, and then he finished with a 4-hour 50K. So.
Ooh, this is serious. Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it averaged out to a little bit average of 4:29:22.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure. Like if I don't get injured and run pretty well, I think I have a good shot to do a little bit better.
If anybody does, you do. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think 50K is a good distance for me, and I'm pretty comfortable, running in all these different conditions, but also like just back to back.
So you've effectively, done this twice. So what keeps you coming back for an adventure like this? I know the 50K distance is the slight nuance here, but like what keeps you coming back for stuff like this 9 years later?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I think it's a unique challenge. One of my coaching clients and he's a good friend of mine, Kyle, is going to be joining me to like document it. So I think it'll just be fun to have an adventure with Kyle. Like he's just a fun dude. And every time I hang out with him, I really
it's
like
bros
it.
Week out.
Yeah. But like, I think the great thing about these adventures and like the company that puts on the World Marathon Challenge, like, the coolest part about it is you get a unique experience with like a bunch of really like-minded people, and you're just moving around the world kind of as this group. And so what I'm most excited about is, and the thing that resonates with me and why I wanted to do it again, is it's an opportunity to see people do something like they're not sure they can do, that they're very excited about, and that they're going to change over the course of it. So like, I'm excited to like
Mm-hmm.
get to witness that. And then I'm excited to see if I can, be, the athlete that I hope, and break a world record. So like, that's exciting to me too, is like, to go out and put myself out there and try for something hard and difficult, but then get to share it with a new group of people. And so like, I feel like that's what's going to make it special for me. And then obviously like,
Yeah.
anytime I get a chance to go to Antarctica, like I just jump on it, because like, it's one of my favorite places in the world.
Oh man,
And like
you don't hear that very often.
yeah, it's just like stunningly beautiful. And I just love how, surreal it feels when you're there. So, yeah, I needed a little hit of Antarctica.
So, what do your kids say when you leave on something like this? Is it just like the normal thing Dad has always done? Like, I feel like that's a runner's family's thing of like where running feels normal to the kids, but this is taking running to obviously many other levels, as you've done, FKTs over the year, huge races, different challenges of like, what's their perception of Dad going out?
I mean, I think that's just normal. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that they've never known anything different. The only time that they haven't seen me as I've always been a runner their entire lives. So like, they don't remember
Mm-hmm.
me as anything other than a runner. So it was funny, like a couple years ago, I started as a lacrosse player. And so I jumped back into like men's league lacrosse, and they got to see me like play lacrosse, and they were like, wait, you were actually pretty good. Like, and so it was
Whoa,
funny,
Dad.
like kind of like, yeah, it was like funny to see them like change their perspective on like, oh, he's not just a runner, but he, had this other life too. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think it's just, it's something, it's my vocation for one thing. So they know like, it would be
Yeah,
no
sure.
different than like, a lawyer going on a business trip to do lawyer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like part of what I do as an athlete. But I think, it's pretty cool. And I think that they appreciate, how hard it is now that they're older, and our son Pierce has run a marathon with me. We did the Marine Corps marathon together last year, and so
Mm-hmm.
we got to share that experience. And yeah, he knows what it feels like now to run 26 miles on your own. And he's been a runner. He runs cross country for William
Yeah.
and Mary now, the club team, and our other son Grant is a frisbee and lacrosse player. So they
Okay.
have an
So they know
appreciation of
endurance
they have appreciation of what it takes to compete.
for sure. And the big question I have is how much of your training and big racing coming up, what percentage of it will be in sandals? Because this is, isn't new to the outdoor
Those are
space to
the
be. These are
those are
the
the
Evan Trail
Teva
R.
R2T. Yeah, it's a little
Yes,
grainy on
yes,
my side, but yeah, those
yeah.
are awesome. You were talking about for the 750Ks in 7 days on 7 continents, or just like in general? How much am I using them?
Well, how about both?
I'm using them like every day. Like those are like kind of my go-to trainers.
Yeah.
Even down to, I'd say, yeah, I don't think I haven't worn them in any kind of like cold factor consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still wear them. I just wear them with like my Injinji like wool socks. So like
Okay.
they're fine. I don't think that they're any
So
less warm than like a little light nylon, piece of like upper
exactly.
on another shoe. So it's more just like a function thing. So like if it's like a super technical trail, I don't always wear those, but for the most part, I wear
Mm-hmm.
them every day. And those ones are like kind of designed for like road to trail. So like that's
Yeah.
exactly how I use them. Like when I pick up the dogs to go for a run, I'll pick them up, on concrete, and then we'll go through some like neighborhood trails up and down across some creeks and stuff. And then I'm still in the sandals, and then I, get back home and I'm back on roads again. And they just kind of like, adapt to what you need. And so
For
they're
sure.
pretty
And they
great.
feel so
Yeah.
good daily
Yeah.
too. Like
Yes.
it's hard for athletes to take someone seriously in sandals. But I mean, we met with the Teva team at the running event, and that was really my first time of like hearing it from somebody from Teva. And I hadn't put on the sandal yet either. And so, but I'm used to wearing sandals. I've like done big Via Ferrata routes in Oman with Teva sandals, done big hikes around here. So like that's not new, but the running piece of it was. And this is what I would say if you are interested in sandals, just for the audience, of like, don't actually sleep on this because it's a sandal. Like the foam is actually good. Like it feels good,
Oh yeah.
especially for that door to trail scenario.
100%. Yeah, man. It's, yeah, if you're sandal curious, you should definitely, be taking action on that. I think that it's kind of game changing for me. Like I
Yeah.
feel like it's kind of like being in a convertible, right? Like it's just
Yeah,
a
exactly.
different
That's
feel,
a good way to put it.
and it just feels great, and it works. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not just for show. Like it has like function.
For sure.
So like that's like I wouldn't use it if it didn't work. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a non-negotiable.
And so like
so like I use what
something
works.
I've found, something I found with this particular sandal, and it's the only one besides like my general Teva hiking sandals, that's running specific, but there's more points of contact. So it actually feels more secure than a lot of the trail shoes that I'm reviewing actually. But like you said, it feels like convertible in the sense that you don't have to worry about the forefoot as much if you have a wide foot, if you have a slim foot, because it's just kind of hanging out there. You're still secure just above the toes. And
Yep.
for me, it fits a little long. So anytime that I've like hit a rock or something, it actually doesn't hurt my toes. It just, bumps the foam a little bit. So
Yeah, exactly.
those who-
I'd say
yeah.
the one time when you do have some issues, if it's like super grainy, and it's like sandy a little bit, like you can get some grit
Okay.
in there. But usually the socks are just as good, and then you can just do like that toe tap and it clears. And so I actually like that
Okay.
really better than a shoe, because if you get a rock in your shoe, then all of a sudden now you have to take it off. And then
Yeah.
the strap, like the Velcro, I was a little worried like the Velcro wasn't going to be strong enough, or it was going to get like dirty and wouldn't last.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that is just not a factor. Like that stuff is like
Yeah.
bulletproof. So like that
I've been so
something I was
impressed.
like nervous about, but yeah, 100%.
Do you always wear socks? That was a question that somebody had.
I don't always wear socks, but I usually do. I'd say 99% of the time I do. There are some instances where I'm just lazy and I don't. But for the most part, I do. And I like the Injinjis. I just like the way that they feel. And I've been
Yeah.
an Injinji athlete for, I don't know, 10 years probably. And so like what I'll do is like if I'm really not feeling like the socks, I'll just wear the liners. Or if it's like a super, a quick 5K or something where I just want like a really, really light contact point, but I still want some protection, I'll just wear like the super
Mm-hmm.
light liners. But then, like I was saying, like if it's cold out, I'll wear like the merino wool ones or some of the
And they have
beefier-
a complimentary shoe as well that is a full shoe that also has the straps, similar fit and everything too, if people want to check that out first, the Aventrail shoe and the Aventrail
correct,
sandal.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I wore on the Appalachian Trail. So like and I've worn that in a bunch of races. And then we have a couple, like, I don't know if you saw it at TRE, but we have the Trail Peak that's coming out soon too, which is kind of a quick, lightweight, low profile trail shoe that's like kind of like quick laces and kind of like aggressive lugs, and that is a really nice shoe also. And then we have a couple like prototypes that I can't tell you about, but are very
that was
cool
going to be my question
later.
Okay.
Later. I mean, I can tell you that they're very cool. I just can't tell you what they are.
And I'm really good at zooming in on people's feet nowadays, and maybe that's the tip we need to get out there, maybe on this challenge. And I know, it's just really cool that, Teva itself has its own outdoor pedigree and, history with sandals and whatnot, but it's really cool that being under that Deckers, like, umbrella, that innovation is just part of that DNA. And so it's cool to see a brand that has something new to offer to the trail running space can come in and like be legitimate. And then you bring athletes into that ecosystem now with the Teva Bureau of Adventure, the TBA for short, that can really like be the extension of the brand. And I love brands that can do that well. Like you can tell the story and who you are through the athletes you have. You're not just kind of signing a check and hoping they do well. It's a whole lot more than that, it seems. So it's really cool to see someone like you, Mike, in that position to kind of like wave their flag in a sense.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I feel super generous or super lucky with their generosity and the chance to be a part of the team. Like I think that they are doing so much like that goes unseen. And so I'm glad that we're having a chance to kind of showcase what they've been doing behind the scenes. And they are like thoroughly ingrained. Like these are all people that I knew as a Hoka athlete for like 15 or well, I guess 13, 14 years. And so it's like
a long time, it's all, let's say that.
Yeah. It's all the same people. But they're just like dedicated to this new project. And so like, that's what's awesome is like to see that innovation and expertise being transferred into the Teva brand and knowing like that these are the people that are coming up with like these cool, innovative ideas and then getting to go out and like execute on those ideas with them. And then having that dynamic feedback that, allows you to put out the best product possible. And so like, I'm very, very fortunate that, that I've been involved in the process and it's like, it's like very minute. Like it's like take a good, well, as a reviewer, it's like, we want to know why, how many miles, what conditions, what went well, what didn't go well. Give us pictures of the internal, external rotation, the wear patterns, like insole in, insole out, rub here, rub there. Like that Teva R2T that you showed, that's already been evolved like 3 stages from when you've tried it. So like the first version was like straight across and it looked like John Luke just like took some scissors to something. And so like,
which is actually probably what happened.
100%. Yeah, dude. He's just a mad genius, he and his team. And like I've been to that shop in Annecy and seen what goes down there. It's like a Toy Story.
It's a lab.
It is a lab. But yeah, so it's exciting to see like, those projects coming to fruition and getting a chance to like be involved the entire way. And it's not just me, it's the entire TBA team. Like, we're always testing like, gear, kit, the shoes, the sandals, all the different products, and then, getting to kind of express that feedback. And then, they can't do everything, which I learned early as an athlete. I'm like, why can't you just do this? Like we were talking about, like, why can't we have that foam or this? And it's like, well, because like that's, somebody else's proprietary information.
Yeah,
but, like,
exactly.
But we can do a lot of cool things and we are doing a lot of cool things and it's cool to be a part of.
And I know Teva has been around a long time. However, it kind of feels in the running stage. Yeah, exactly. But in the running sense, it feels like they're in their infancy, and there's a lot of freedom and cool things about that. And so Teva, the brand to watch, and Mike, I know you have to get going somewhere. You have an important meeting coming up, but I do want people to like look out for your updates too on your big 50K, 7 continents, 7 days adventure. How can people follow that?
Yeah, I mean, I think people can follow me on social media. Like I post a lot on Instagram, Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
X, got TikTok. I don't really post that much there, but I
Yeah.
do sometimes. So there are, all the different ways. I've got a website, MikeWardian.com, but I'd say most people get in touch with me on social media and kind of follow what I'm doing there. I'm sure that the Teva team will be sharing stuff on the Teva site also, and the social media links for Teva and TVA. And then, I think that those are probably the best ways to do it. And then, of course, like through World Marathon Challenge, like they're going to be sharing
Okay.
content also through their social channels and team. And then my buddy Kyle is going to be sharing stuff also. So, we'll have a pretty
Perfect.
robust plan. And then for the rest of the year, I mean, I've got a couple other projects. Like if people want to come out, I'm going to be running to all the MedStar Health locations
Whoa. Okay.
in the DC area. That's
Sounds
going to
like
be
we
like a
just need
200.
another podcast to
Yeah.
talk
Yeah. It's
more.
going to be like a 200-mile project. And so that's in April.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
if people want to come out, and I'll be, tell the rest of the team in Baltimore, I'll be running through Baltimore. So it'd be like when I ran across the
Sweet.
country, a bunch of you guys came out and ran with me, and that like kind of made my day. So I'd love to
Perfect.
link up with the Believe in the Run guys and then the Faster Bastards dudes.
Okay. And I'm going to have to come out to Baltimore in April just to be able to tag along. Okay. You got some important things to do. We'll see you later. We'll see you around the world. Best of luck.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop. DRO.